You are listening to the Rewrite the Rules podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Beth.
I'm Natalie.
And I'm Harriet.
Rewrite the Rules podcast releases a new episode every Monday, and we're all about helping you achieve a happier and healthier relationship with food and your body.
We're real people with real life experiences, so you can expect us to be keeping it raw and real in each and every episode.
Don't forget to follow and subscribe to us on whatever podcast platform you use, and share the love with a friend that you think will love this podcast.
Now, let's get on to the episode.
Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 46 of Rewrite the Rules podcast. You have me, little old me, and I'm here with my top tips on how to ask for help. So I was really trying to think about a topic to do this week, and I just thought that when you're suffering with issues surrounding food and your body image, you can feel very, very alone. You can feel extremely isolated, and you can also feel unable to ask for help. And asking for help and having help is so important in recovery. In my eyes, you cannot do recovery alone. If you're struggling with binge eating, if you're struggling with restriction, feeling alone and not telling anyone almost heightens those feelings of guilt, secrecy. They can heighten your binges because you feel like you need to make sure that you're doing it when everyone's out the house, and those binges will become heightened because you're trying to cram as much as you can through fear of not knowing when people are going to come back home. That's just an example. And also we can be so scared of other people's reactions. That's why we don't feel like we can ask for help. We're scared to worry our loved ones. We're scared to maybe let them know what we're going through, and we've got this image in our head that they're gonna maybe walk away, maybe not want to hear what we've got to say, not understand, look at us like we're really strange. And like I said, like they won't understand. I'm here to tell you that our loved ones are already worried. They're already worried. We have certain patterns of behaviour that maybe we don't see, but others that we love pick up on when we are struggling with binge eating, restriction, any eating disorder. Our behaviours change. So it's very likely that they know that something is not right, and they're already worried, and they're waiting for you to ask them for help, to open up, to tell them what is going on. And it'll be a huge relief when you actually do. And yeah, I think it's just so important, and I just really want to help anyone out there that doesn't even know where to start, doesn't even know how to open up to their loved ones, how to ask for help. So I think that we should really get into my tips, yes, for just asking for help. You know, it seems very daunting, and I know that, and we can sit there and we can literally mull it over for so long. And I know that I did. I really did. It took me 4 years. So if I can do it, then you can do it. And it will change your recovery. Like, it really will. So my number one tip for anybody out there, seek your person. So when I'm saying seek your person, find your person that you want to tell, and think about a few things when you're seeking this person. How close are you to them? How big of an influence do they have in your life? How much do you trust them? How close are you to them? So in my eyes, trying to tell a work colleague that you see, 3 times a week maybe, that you don't see outside of work, probably wouldn't be the best, because I needed to tell my family, I needed to tell my brother, I needed to tell my mum. I live with them, I care deeply about them, they care deeply about me, and those were the people that I trusted the most, and those are the people that you are going to get the best reaction from. So yeah, it's just choosing your person wisely, because I've had a few things in my life, not in relation to eating disorders, binging, restriction, other situations in my life where I've opened up to people and I've got the worst reaction, and it's been really quite traumatic. And through that, I've learned that I need to choose who to tell, you know, my deepest, darkest worries to. And that is my first tip. Seek your person, someone that you just absolutely love and adore, who maybe you've told things to before and you know they've only wanted to help. And also, please, in telling this person, don't fear that they're going to worry. Like I said, they're worried already. Okay, you have to let go of that. They're going to want to help 100%. So 2, you need to choose a way to tell them. Now, I love writing a letter. I love letters. So whenever I have something really difficult to talk about, or there's somebody that wants to tell me something and I know that they're not very good at opening up, because I will tell anyone anything. I am a very open book. I will drag out of you what you want to tell someone, or what's worrying you. So either letter. So if you're really, really worried about telling this person and you don't feel like you would have the words to, maybe explain what's going on, then write it in a letter. 2, open conversation. Either one, choose what you're more comfortable with. Choose how comfortable you are in communicating with this person, because if you haven't really had open, honest conversations with this person before, maybe a letter is going to make you feel more comfortable and you're going to get out exactly what you want to say. Because I know that sometimes when we're having a conversation and it's quite uncomfortable, we find it hard to navigate around what we want to say, and we can stumble and trip up on our words. So a letter can be easier for some people. Yeah, that's my second tip. Choose the way in which you want to tell your chosen person. Number 3, you have to choose the right time. This is so, so important in any area of your life, but particularly when you're trying to tell someone that you deeply care about something that is really troubling you. Do not do it when you're in a rush. Do not do it when you're frustrated. Do not do it in the heat of the moment in an argument. Text this person and say, are you free at this time? Would it be okay if we had a chat? Give this person the letter when they're not doing anything, when you know that they have free time. And even if you want to give this person a letter and say, look, I just want you to read this, I'm just going to nip out for a bit, because in the head you're thinking, it will feel a bit awkward to sit here and you read this. You have to choose a time when you're calm, the other person is calm, when you can take it in, when you don't have to rush off anywhere. You need to slot in an allocated time to tell your chosen person. So that is number 3. Choose the right time. Number 4, be honest. Now, this is going to be very, very difficult, and this is why sometimes writing a letter can be a lot easier. But I know that I told my brother first of all, I had to tell him everything. I had to get it off my chest, and the relief, oh my God, the relief that I felt was like a weight was off my shoulder. He knew anyway. He literally said, I know that something's not been right and I've been waiting for you to tell me. But if I held back, because I feel like as much as you don't want to worry your loved ones, they really need to know the extent of how much this is impacting your life for them to fully understand. Because to older generations, you know, because things aren't really spoken about, maybe they don't have as much open communication as I feel like our generation has now, and they don't understand certain things because it wasn't around in their time, or it wasn't as spoken about. It's quite difficult to get a grasp. So if you were to say your mum, I'm really struggling with not being able to control how I eat, she might just be like, stop eating then. And you have to say, I feel like this is impacting my everyday. I can't stop thinking about food. I really don't wish to worry you, but I'm opening up to you because I'm just really having a hard time right now. In whichever way you feel like you want to be open and honest, please just open up. Just let it go. And I think always saying, I have feared that I will worry you, but I'm telling you because I really want your help. It's the best thing. It really is. So that's number 4, be honest. Number 5 is give them time, okay? So like I said, this is going to be quite a lot for them to take in. Like they probably know, but they might not know to the extent in which it's troubling you, worrying you, impacting your life. So give them time. And what can be quite frustrating, like I said, is if they say things like, well, stop eating, or eat more, or stop exercising if you feel like you're obsessed with it. Don't get frustrated, and I know it will be very, very hard, but they need to understand. Maybe give them some links to articles or anything to help them understand what you're going through, whether that be binge eating, restriction, obsessions with exercise. Just maybe if they can see it and they know that this is a diagnosed issue that people do seek help for, because like I say, older generations, they don't really know what binge eating is. So you need to allow them to have the time to let it sink in, and it will, I promise you. Number 6 is you need to set your guidelines of what help it is that you want. And that is very, very important, because what's going to happen is if you don't do that, they're not going to know how to navigate helping you. They will fear that they're going to say the wrong thing. They will tiptoe around you. You might feel like they're watching your every move. And I had to do it with my family. For instance, things like my mum would be like, come on, eat this, have some chips, have this, have that. And I just had to sit down and say, I'm not quite ready right now. I'm really trying to get there to be able to eat these foods, but they're actually my fear foods and they trigger me. They've triggered me a lot in the past to have a binge. So I promise you, I am trying, but just for now, just hold back a little bit. And she understood, and that's how you set your boundaries and your guidelines for the help that you want. And again, that can be very awkward and you can feel like you're being a bit horrible, but say it in the right way, and say it when you have time with the other person, not when you're rushing off anywhere, not when you're frustrated, not when you're angry. Say it in a calm way, because that really helps. And number 7, this is the last tip that I have. It's okay if they don't get it, okay? It's okay. And yes, it might really hurt, but in my experience, there's going to be a very, very minimal percentage of people that ask for help don't get that help from their loved ones. And if they don't understand, it's about saying, I am not going to let this impact me asking somebody else for help, because maybe they weren't the right person. And that's okay. I know somebody else and I feel like I want to seek their help now. Please don't let it have a negative effect in which you're never going to ask for help ever again. And on the flip side of this, again, if you feel like there is nobody else that you can ask for help, which I really feel like this is the worst case scenario, okay? Like I said, 99.9% of the time, it's going to go well. You're going to get that help from your loved one. They are waiting to help you. But if in the worst case scenario, you feel like you don't get their understanding, they haven't helped, then there are many other avenues, which I think is amazing now, because there wasn't that, a while back. I didn't have that help, or I didn't even know where to start when I was struggling with binge eating. So there are many other avenues. There are podcasts like us. You have the amazing Beth, and she does coaching. She helps people who are struggling with their relationship with food, with their body. You have Harriet. She is an amazing therapist. We have all of those sort of links. You can look on our Instagram, you can look on our show notes. We have that help available for you. And also there are certain organisations. For instance, you have BEAT. So BEAT is a eating disorder charity, and it stands for Beat Eating Disorders. So you have one-to-one web chats on there, which is amazing, because if you feel like you haven't even got yourself to the point of being able to ask in person for help, having a one-to-one web chat, it's there for you. You can feel a little less nervous. It can maybe help you open up more if you're doing it that way. Also, they have a contact number. You can call them. If you search BEAT on Google, all that information comes up. Also, you have the National Centre for Eating Disorders. Again, you have a helpline there. You can call them. You can ask for help. There are so many avenues in which you can go down. You don't have to do this alone. So I hope that those tips helped you. And I really want to encourage any of you out there, just try. It will be the best thing that you ever do. Having that help, having that support, no longer feeling like you're holding in a secret, is going to do wonders for your recovery, and your loved ones want you to lean on them. I promise you that, because always think, if your loved one was struggling with what you're struggling with, would you want them to suffer in silence? Would you want them to not ever tell you? Of course you wouldn't. You would want them to come to you and you would want to help. So they want to do exactly the same for you. So those are my tips for asking for help. As always, if you want to ask us, if you want to reach out, if you have any questions, any topics you want covered, we will cover them on this podcast. We love hearing your feedback. But yes, do not suffer alone. Please, please don't. I hope this helped any of you listeners out there that just doesn't know where to start, doesn't even know where to start in asking for help. That's exactly what this episode was for. So yes, it was lovely talking to you guys as always, and we'll speak to you next time. Bye guys.